Hey, my name is Anthony Esposo, and I've been seeing a lot of these different videos about their experiences about BMT, Air Force Basic Military Training, and I thought they were very inspirational. And it's like a good way for like current people in the Air Force to like give back to let people know, because what better way than tell your like firsthand experience of like what you went through, and just having different. What I liked is seeing on YouTube the different amount of people there, because they're absolutely correct. As each of you will have a different experience in Air Force BMT. My experience was, it was a good and bad. Like, that wave. Like, I had my good points and I had my low points, and overall, it was it's 8 weeks. I think 8 weeks. So, well, 8 weeks for me. I went between February 2012 till May 2012. It was an experience that you can never take back. It's something that you'll experience at the moment. You won't like it, but overall, you're gonna really enjoy it and be thankful for what you experience. It's memories that no one you can never experience with other people, and the times that you go through with the people you're in your flight will be memorable ones, and just memories that you'll keep with you forever. So like the first one is you go to your MEPS, do your final check-in and everything. Man, it's been 3 years. 3 years since I went to basic. It's crazy. And you just go there, get your final check-in, you have your final paperwork and everything. You spend the night there. Next morning, you go. I went to from Washington State, so I flew to San Antonio. My first time actually being on a plane and everything. I never flew. I don't. The only time I flew was when I was real little. I can't remember it, and it was experience. I get easily motion sickness, but it was a good experience to go there. So you get right in San Antonio, the airport, and you eventually get bussed to San Antonio. Like you'll meet. There are literally MTIs in the airport waiting for you. So you get on the buses. I got there when it was real late. I think maybe 11 p.m. or something. And so we get on the buses. They drive us to Lackland Air Force Base, and it's real quiet. Like, I sat by a guy who tried to like make conversation. I was like super nervous, and I was like, I kept to myself, like, let's just get this over with. So you get there, you get to the big reception area. They collect your paperwork. You sit down, and they start splitting you up. They ask you like some questions. Who played an instrument? If you tell them you played an instrument, you're going to most likely end up in band flight. So you not only are you going through BMT, but you're also learning how to play an instrument, because during graduation you're gonna be playing while we're all marching. You'll be marching too, so you'll be doing tasking. And after that, you're gonna be split. You go in, you do like these measurements for your feet. Try to find your shoes and everything. They're gonna look at, I think, like your height, weight, and everything. Takes your weight and all that. After that, they're gonna give you like this little box lunches. It has like a sandwich, cookies, Oreos, and drink. You're gonna be really nervous to eat, but I would try to eat, because that's like the last sweet you're gonna get for a while. But after you're done eating, they're also gonna issue like a Gore-Tex, which is a coat for like real cold weather, and when it's raining, they're gonna also issue like the inside of the Gore-Tex, so it's real, which keeps you warm. And then they're also gonna issue, I believe, can't remember, but they issue a couple more stuff. Man, it's been so long. And after that, you split into flights. Flight can get up to about 60 people. I think the people we had about 50 to 58, if not mistaken. It's about, I think, 58. We didn't get the full 60. So we get there, and then you're split into a flight, and you're gonna have most likely a brother or sister flight, depending. And then you go to the squadron. The squadron I was in was the 320th. Can't Stop the Rock Gators. It was a very interesting squadron, because it specializes for battle airmen, like combat controllers. I mean, I'm sorry, and then TAC Ps and all that. So what's interesting about that is they actually hold you to the same standards as what the battle airman will. So if the battle airman need to be doing like this much push-ups and stuff, well, my MTI, he held us to that standard. So it was really interesting. He goes, everyone's going to do it. So we were doing us normal, not normal, but the people who are just going to have like the everyday jobs and all that, we were held to the same standards as the battle airmen. So that was actually real good because just we were doing more physical compared to the other flights in our squadrons or even the other squadrons, and just real help. We were like by week 2 we were doing what week 8 people were doing, like the amount, because depending on the week is how much of the workout you'll do, like a push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, and burpees and all that. So the longer weeks you're in there, the more they expect out of you. But by week 2 for my flight, we were already doing like week 8 of what's expected of you there by then. So that was interesting. So after you get put into the squadron, you go into you go to the actual building, the 320th squadron. I don't know what the building number was. It's named after, each place is named after a certain, I think it's named after battle airmen or like people who got the Medal of Honor of certain ones. I can't remember which one was ours. It's been so long. I'm very disappointed. I don't remember this. I should maybe researched. I just want to tell you guys like the first-hand experience. So we got there. So a TI comes in. It's dark, and then like the lights. It's like a little padded area you're in. It's covered with a roof and everything. So you go in there. They come in and say, "I want you out, lined up, and hurry up." So you're like all rushing, grabbing your bags, and like going out. There's 4 yellow dots that you line up. You're split into. So you line up, even it out. So your flight, and you're broken down to elements, 4 elements. So you're in the 4 dots, and the TI there, he wasn't our main TI. Our main TI, I don't know, I think he was busy that night, or he had something come up. So we had another TI who's just there, like they substitute for each other when they need help. So this TI, he's like, did roll call. We said yes, and then we played for maybe like 5 minutes of pick up your bags, put your bags down, and all that. Pick them up, put them down. Then we went upstairs, like he says. We went upstairs and we get into the dorms. It's nerve-wracking. We were on the 3rd floor, so up. And then we got to the top, and then there was bunk beds. So 2 big bays, 2 elements in each bay. So about 30 people in each bay could fit. So I believe I was in bay 1, or A bay, what they called it. And he said, "Hey, hurry up and find a wall locker." So there's a bed, bunk beds, and then the top bed is numbered and the bottom bed's numbered, and it correlates to a wall locker. So you go to that wall locker, and then your match up. So each wall locker has a security drawer where you put all your materials and everything. You have a lock, and he says, make sure you have that lock. It matches your key, and lock it up. And then after you lock it, they just explain the emphasis. They emphasize on why it's important, like never have your wall locker unlocked. So they played another game. It's first night is just like mind games and like seeing like how quick you react, being sleep deprived, because by then this time it was like past midnight already, like I think inching to 1 or maybe even past 1 o'clock in the morning. So you're already tired, you're nervous, scared, numb, like you don't know what's going on. So we were playing mind games. He was going, made us point the number to our wall locker, run to the bed, find your bed number, back and forth. We did that a couple times, and someone couldn't do it. And this TI, he got like, because you're supposed to, if you had to go in there with one thing besides like memorizing maybe the Airman's Creed, learn your reporting statement. Sir, trainee, last name, reports as ordered. Not reporting, reports as ordered. Learn those words. It's going to be beneficial. So he didn't know his reporting statement. And this TI he flipped the bed. And this was serious because, you know, I was like zoned out, just trying to follow the rule, like instructions of go point your numbers. And then I see a flip, and the bed was on his side, and he was yelling at them because not all the beds were double. bunk beds. So there were single beds in the bays too. So he flipped a single one over. He got on that and started yelling. He was like, "Oh, you don't know your reporting instruction and all that. That you think you're smart." So that was that was actually really interesting. After that, we had to go in to the bathroom. This bathroom was going to serve 60 people for 8 weeks, and they wanted to shave like every part of our face and get all the hair out, every part besides your eyebrows, clean shaven. Interesting fact, I never shaved until I went to BMT. I actually learned like a week or two before I flew out to BMT to shave. So another thing, I'm Asian Filipino, and we don't grow a lot of facial hair, so I never saw saw why I needed to shave. It's like I barely grew any facial hair. I had like a little hair here and then a dirty mustache here. But we were shaving, and it was those. I brought the disposable one, which was a bad idea. Like two bladed. Do not bring disposables if you can. Bring a real razor if you want. I'll make another video, like what you should pack in my opinion. Again, my videos might be different than the ones you see on YouTube and everything because each person's recruiter tells them differently. They should all have like a straightforward format of like, hey, this is what we should tell each other, but they don't, and that's all right because not only like you will have a different BMT experience as everyone else, you're gonna have an Air Force career that's different from everyone else. Some people will progress quicker, others might not, others might struggle throughout. It really depends. So don't be afraid that your Air Force career is different, and like if you hear differently, what your recruiter says, most likely just believe what they say, especially about the packing stuff. My recruiter was amazing, Sergeant Harris. Thank you for everything you've done for me when I was in there. I was nervous, very kind person, and very trusting, and he really knew his stuff, which was amazing. So we were shaving, and there's these people. They're called EC. No, man, not EC. Command post. Oh my god. They're the people who guard, and when you're in 0 week or like your first timer, you have higher up weeks in your squadron come watch you. So we were shaving. I cut myself like right here. I was bleeding, and I was freaking out. And I because he wanted to shave up here too. He goes, I don't want anything near your ears and everything. So I was shaving, bringing it up, and I cut myself. And I went to the trainee, and like I think it was week 5, and said, I'm bleeding and all that. And he goes, but like I didn't say I was bleeding like that. I said like, hey, is this good? No, you need to keep shaving. He goes, dang, bro, you're bleeding. I said, oh man. So we all went there, and then we went to the day room. This day room is like where your MTI usually has a talk with you. I've heard they become like saunas. Like when you're in trouble, that's where they punish you, when they make you push. Other times it's a real place. Later in the weeks, it's a real chill place. You talk to your TI and you joke around with them, and it's actually where mail's passed out. So we went there. We had to write down our names on our tags and everything, make sure we were good, write letters because we had to send a letter back to our families saying we're good. We made it to basic training. The next day is when they allowed us to call home. But after that, he goes, go to bed. So go on. Another fact, I was on the bunk bed and I didn't think, you're rushing. I chose a bed that was on top, and I move a lot when I sleep. And I was scared I was going to fall off, but I didn't. So interesting, I used basic training. Air Force basic training was my first time on a bunk bed. That was very interesting. So he left us. He goes, go to sleep, turn the lights off. The two people who were higher in weeks was supposed to watch us. I think I stayed awake for almost an hour before I fell asleep. I finally fell asleep. We woke up. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning the next day. No one came to get us until almost like 12 o'clock. They came in like 4 to 5 TIs. They came in screaming, yelling. We jumped off the bed and everything. And then we went to breakfast, and that's what the first night of BMT was. It was a shocker, a lot of yelling, a lot of hurry up, a lot of fast pace, and it was a eye opener. Really, it's like, oh man, this is what I'm gonna expect for the rest of the night. the rest of the trip. A lot of rushing, thinking on your feet, moving with a sense of urgency. But overall, I was excited, nervous, homesick a little bit, but everyone felt like that. So that was good, and I really enjoyed it. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment, subscribe to my page. I'm gonna try and make these because I just been watching these videos and they've been amazing. And I go, I want to do that. I want to tell my experience because maybe someone's actually gonna have that kind of experience, or maybe if I tell them my mistakes or some advice I have, maybe it'll like ease them and make them, hey, keep an eye out. Maybe I shouldn't do that or all that. So Kotaro 130. You can find me on Instagram, Kotaro Prince. Go ahead, ask any questions. I actually like really making this video. It's really nice. Sorry, any pointers too, like hey, stop saying or like a lot. That'd be very helpful. But overall, or let me know what kind of videos I want to make. I already have some ideas about what kind of videos I want to make for about the Air Force, like about 0 week, each week maybe. And I can talk about going to my first base. Again, I've already been in for over 3 years, so it's been an amazing ride. I'm very excited. All right, so thank you again. Like, share my video, and ask any questions, and I will get back to you guys. Thank you. God bless.